I have just gotten a list from the leader of the opposition, acting leader of government business. Can you give me a list? No. Give me a list. So, okay, so I can just take the 5. Just the 5 understanding. Okay, thank you.
Prepare that list.
Let me start with Honorable Rogers.
So
Honorable Rogers,
Honorable
Lani, Kamara, and Gebao.
Mr. Speaker,
Yes, proceed.
I rise to add my voice to this very important agreement. Mr. Speaker, sorry, can you please add Honorable Senior on that list from Kono?
From Kono, okay, Honorable Senior. Okay, proceed.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I rise to add my voice to this very important and historic agreement. Let me start by asserting that indeed this agreement is very compelling for ratification. It does not even need 10 minutes to debate it. I describe this agreement. I'm talking about the MCC compact alongside the implementation agreement as being the life wire of this country. Only any means we attempt. Not even, no, I'm just saying that. Yes.
Honorable members, allow him to debate.
It has to do with cementing. I'm comfortable by using that word, Mr. Speaker, and I have no regret. And let me go over that. This true agreement is indeed very much compelling. Compelling within the context of development growth in this country. We are talking about energy, sustainable energy. And with this agreement, I am sure and I believe that accessibility to electricity got across the country will be enhanced. Remember, recently we started with rural electrification, and along the side we saw some changes. But with this agreement, I want to believe that increased energy reliability and distribution will be promoted. Investment, even in time within the context of growth, will also be enhanced. So without few remarks, I want to call on my colleagues on both sides not to waste time to ratify this agreement. This is the reason why I describe it as being compelling. I thank you all.
Thank you very much, Honorable Abraham Barry.
Thank you for saying nothing. I listen to your original. Thank you for saying nothing. Wait.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Honorable members, the 480 billion MCC compact presents an unprecedented opportunity for Sierra Leone, particularly in the energy and infrastructure sector, but not just in the energy sector. It also provides an opportunity with the conditions attached to it to improve our governance system and enhance democracy within our country. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, let me use this opportunity to thank the US government for always pushing developing countries through this compact to enhance their democracy, to ensure that elections are credible, electoral institutions are independent, to ensure that the voice of every citizen of the country is heard through an independent, fair, and credible process of electioneering. Mr. Speaker, I want to draw the attention of this House to the preconditions for strengthening democracy as ascribed in this agreement. Mr. Speaker, the conditions tied to this compact are not just technical fixes. They are foundational steps to consolidate our democracy. They are foundational steps to ensure independence for our electoral commission. And they are foundational steps to create a system where credible elections can be held, aligned with international best practice. Mr. Speaker, these reforms are essential. Mr. Speaker, these reforms are essential for ensuring that the will of the people is respected in every election, free from manipulation and undue influence. Mr. Speaker, let us not forget that the sacrifices made for the democracy we have today, thousands of brave Sierra Leoneans, including our soldiers, paid the ultimate price for the freedom we enjoy today. We must ask ourselves, are we willing to let these sacrifices be in vain? No. Mr. Speaker, the manipulation and challenges surrounding the 2023 election serve as a painful reminder that our democracy is fragile. I repeat, Mr. Speaker, the manipulation and challenges surrounding the 2023 elections serve as a painful reminder that our democracy is fragile. The people's vote, Mr. Speaker, must never be tampered with. The essence of our democracy depends on free, fair, and credible election. Mr. Speaker, no one, whether it's government or opposition, has the right to undermine this democracy. And as a result of that, we want to thank the US government for ensuring that the key conditions for this compact.
Hold on, Mr. Speaker, I'm not sure if we are debating elections here. We are talking about the So, Mr. Speaker, can we please go to the agreement? You are talking about agreement. If you want to talk about election, let us start from 2007. Thank you. Yes, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me just make some correction to the point of order. If my honorable chief whip can refer to the publication on the let me end. There's a point of order. Let me end, Lisa. Let me end. Yes, he has given me the nod to go ahead. He has given me.
Hold on, both of you are leaders.
The point of order was
and you should understand the rules.
Yes, sir. Exactly.
Now,
allow the speaker to he has given me the nod. I don't want to do a short correction. He has given me the nod to again a point of order. I am reacting to his point of order.
This is your document, also. Let's try to be tolerant.
Yes, exactly.
This is your document.
Exactly.
So let me hear you.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I just want to refer the chief whip of this house to a document published by the United States government on the 27th of September 2024. The document said, paragraph 4, it says, Sierra Leone's eligibility for the compact remains highly dependent on the country's sustained commitment to advancing democracy, combating corruption, and investing in its people. Sierra Leone will need to continue to meet eligibility benchmark in these areas throughout the life of the compact, including the full and expeditious implementation of both the Agreement of National Unity and the joint recommendations of the Tripartite Committee. Cooperation between the ruling Sierra Leone People's Party and the opposition MCC party. So this document is highly contingent on the recommendations of the Tripartite Agreement, which was born out of problems in the 2023.
Leader of the opposition, leader of government business, can I hear you on this? Just note. Now, honorable members, can you hear me out? Can you hear me out, honorable members? I want you to help me today. I really want you to help me by not allowing this house to go political today.
great speaker.
I'm pleading with you. Because as far as I know, the compact is good for the rest of Sierra Leone. I would have wholeheartedly supported an APC government to achieve this. I would have done. Because this is good for all of us. Please, it is my plea, even as I sit here, it is my plea that we don't allow politics to seep into our debate today. Because don't forget that we will have the Hansard eventually. We don't want researchers to come to Parliament and read our Hansard and see that in the Hansard some Sierra Leoneans were against the compact, or some Sierra Leoneans tended to argue in a way that could be construed as against awarding the compact. So I'm pleading, it is my plea that we don't go political today. That we in our debate we express our gratitude. We express our gratitude to the United States government for giving us this opportunity, and we express our gratitude to those who went all out to ensure that this particular compact is won. I have not given any indication that anybody here on my left has gone political. I am just pleading. I know both sides have not gone political. I'm just pleading that we don't go political. It is my plea. Yes, leader of the opposition.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I want to assure you from the bottom of my heart that colleagues on this other side are appreciative of the fact that Sierra Leone has MCC. And let me tell you, this is not the first time for Sierra Leone to benefit from MCC. In 2014, no, let me make my point. I'm not debating. I'm making sense. I'm making sense. In 2014, Sierra Leone benefited from the threshold, which was $48 million. And that very program was closed on the 30th of March 2021. So it does not take into consideration which government is in power.
Yes, certainly.
It takes into consideration Sierra Leone as a nation. Even when MCC and SMPK became ratified the threshold, it closed March 30th. So let us all support this. We don't know what will happen when we come to power. It shall be also
Thank you very much, Honorable Leader of the Opposition. You know, with the greatest respect to the Leader of the Opposition, I know that is genuine about this nation. Just as all of us. We might have our differences here and there, but I know we are all genuine. I know we all want this nation to develop. So yes, you know,
I have no one to say. I was in this parliament when the government started in 2014. I was in this parliament. We qualified for the threshold because we did not achieve all the benchmarks for the compact. And today, we have a compact of 480 million. We should not quantify this progress. We should not.
Leader of government business, don't go political on this. I warn you. Don't go political on this. This is your document. Yes, Honorable Barry, proceed.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we welcome the MCC. We thank the United States government, and we believe that the MCC compact will play a key role in consolidating, in addressing the problem in our NID sector. So I repeat again, Mr. Speaker, like to add to what my leader said, we on this side, we welcome the compact. But we urge caution, Mr. Speaker, for any project, whether it's for government or non-governmental organization, you have to ensure where you have spent, where they are funding something above even $1 million, you have to ensure you exercise caution to achieve the goals and vision of that particular project. And Mr. Speaker, according to the U.S. ambassador, recently he posted by the U.S. Embassy page where he awarded a pen to the Vice President that they are committed to support this. And they hope that the government of Sierra Leone will fulfill or meet the conditions attached to the award of this compact. And one of the conditions is to ensure that the 84 recommendations from the tripartite, they are fully achieved. And that is what we want to remind this House. One of the critical recommendations for the achievement of this compact is to ensure we reform our electoral system. Is that a crime, Mr. Speaker? Is it a crime to reform our election system? What is the crime? We need to remind ourselves, in as much as yes, we welcome this compact, but we want to see at the end of this project that we will proudly say all the conditions attached to the award of this compact have been met. Is that a crime? You know, students, I don't say. You welcome. He's my student. He likes to interrupt.
If you are a student, you have to be very careful.
He's my student. He likes to interrupt. And you have my class this weekend. Mr. Speaker, let me see this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, let me use this opportunity to again commend the government and to reassure, like what my leader said, that we are 100% in support, that we will play our part as opposition to ensure that we achieve the goals of this compact. But, Mr. Speaker, we urge caution, and we also will recommend for us as a country to fully implement the 84 recommendations attached to this compact. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Barry. Let me at this stage plead on behalf of your students. And you students, you have to be very careful. Know that you're in a very dangerous game. Honorable Ingo Lugibao.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for catching your eye. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I must say today is one of the most happy days for this agreement to be laid before us, signaling the implementation of the MCC compact. For the edification of the public, I know what we are privy to. They are not privy to it. The MCC compact has its object. I'll just go briefly to the object. It says the goal of this compact is to reduce poverty through economic growth in Sierra Leone. MCC shall provide assistance in a manner that strengthens good governance, economic freedom, and investment in the people of Sierra Leone. My emphasis is investment in the people of Sierra Leone. It is not saying investment in the people of my village, Mamuto. We must commend the people of Sierra Leone for cooperating with the government of His Excellency President Julius Maada for passing the benchmarks, the threshold for us to get this compact. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, for a country to qualify for this compact, you must meet the requirements: the fight against corruption, your human rights records, your governance records, all of those benchmarks. If you don't pass them, you will never be qualified for the threshold. And for us, we say the accolade goal to all Sierra Leoneans Because if we had not been disciplined as a nation, working within the parameters of being all of us trying to not be corrupt, and those who attempt to be being dealt with by the anti-corruption and the judiciary will not have qualified.
Before making his decision.
If our human rights records were good, we would not have qualified. If our governance institutions were not good, we would not have qualified. But Mr. Speaker, I must commend His Excellency the President for one singular thing that he did. Being somebody who is the champion of delivery, when he came into governance, during his first State of the Union address, he said one of his objects is to clamp down on corruption and indiscipline. And when you have huge funds like this, you must make sure you put the right people in the right place so that the funds is being judiciously utilized. So even before the compact was signed, what did the president do? He took one of the most respectable Sierra Leonean, one of ours who had been in this house, somebody who is an expert in the energy sector, who has worked in the energy sector for the longest of time, respected internationally in the process of Alaji Kole Kande Yonkela, and appointed him as governance coordinating group.
Administration.
You know, he appointed him in that position because he foresaw that if these monies come, we need reputable Sierra Leoneans to manage it. It goes without saying that this government has done pretty well in trying to improve on our electricity. Nowadays, you hardly go for a day without actually getting electricity. But with the MCC, even the issue of going for a day without electricity will be a thing of the past. And I must say, for a country to get close to being a developed country, you must conquer your energy sector. Water and electricity should be something that your citizens must not worry about. I mean, we've been to other parts of the globe. Even if you live in a 50-story building, you get water. Even if you live in the most remote part of certain countries, you get electricity. This is what this government wants to do. This government wants to ensure that electricity is not only enjoyed by us that live in the city, but electricity is enjoyed by people who live in the hinterland, in the provinces. So he started showing that commitment by ensuring that each and every chiefdom headquarter town in Sierra Leone got a solar grid. Like I always say, if you go to Kailahu, almost all the chiefdom headquarter towns and most of the big towns have solar grid. Gone are the days when you come out in the night to ease yourself and you see darkness approaching you like a human being. The president has lit the country. Sierra Leone is no more a country that is referred to as a city or a country of darkness. So like the leader of opposition said, today is a day that we Sierra Leoneans should celebrate unanimously. If there have never been anything that we can agree upon, let us agree on the fact that this government has done well, this government has done excellent, its governing parameters has led us to win the MCC compact, its human rights and governance trajectory has caused the United Nations, the United States government to actually sign the compact, with us. And I want to assure you, all Sierra Leoneans, I want to assure you that each and every penny will be monitored by this house. We will follow where the money goes. We will ensure the money is being spent for what it is being meant for. That is why the right people has been appointed by His Excellency the President to ensure that these monies are judiciously used. On that note, Mr. Speaker, I want to say thanks to all of those who played part in ensuring that to this day be one of reality. His Excellency the President, the Vice President, the Minister of Finance, the people in the energy sector, even our brothers on the opposition side. Because of the peace that we maintain in this house, it's also taken into consideration for us to actually get this money. So I want to commend all of us as a Leone. Let us continue the unity. Let us continue, because when there is light in Freetown, there is not light for green, there is not light for red, there is not light for yellow, there is light for Sierra Leone. And this is what we want. We always say, we are but one country, and we are one people. We have no other country that we want to but Sierra Leone. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Tambakeli.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me join my honorable colleagues in thanking the Americans for giving us this assistance. It's timely, and I speak as one who actually implemented the threshold program, which was the precondition to the attainment of the compact, because it was addressed concerned with the regulation of the electricity and water sectors to improve their operational efficiency, leading to quality delivery. So by the time I left in 2018, all the regulations, water, electricity, in terms of service quality, etc., all those were in place. So I was the first Director General for this electricity and water commission. So Mr. Speaker, as I say, it's a laudable assistance to this country, but I need to address honorable members' attention to certain technical matters. I've gone through all the schedule. I see the emphasis is on distribution and transmission, but I see no provision for generation. I think that's a bit of a lacuna. Because generation, the electricity sector, the way it works, you generate, you transmit, and then you distribute. But the emphasis here is on distribution and transmission. Already we have 2 transmission lines, which is our own, the Bumuna line, and we have the CNSG, which traverses our country into Nigeria. It's not a criticism of the government, because this is it's an assistance given to us, so we are bound to take what we are given. But thought should have been given to that aspect. Without generation, you can have all the poles. If you cannot generate the belts, I mean, they will use it as mining. People use it and washing. That's what they will do. The other thing I want to draw attention to is the emphasis given to the capacity building of EDS. Mr. Speaker, I can tell you, when I came from England, I was the legal counsel for the National Power Authority. We unbundled it and then created EGTC. I can tell you, so much money has gone into the capacity building of EDSC, over upwards of $50,000. Yet, the transmission sector, which is EGTC, we're actually going to be dealing, when you look at the agreement, the main components, the areas that are actually going to attract the bulk of the funding is transmission dispatch, transmission backbone, and some transmission courier. Yet, the people who will be dealing with that, the transmission engineers, a very, very little amount, almost infinitesimal amount. And again, that is not a fault of the government, but I think it's a lacuna. It's something that needs to be. If there's any way we can rejig this whole compact and bring in generation, we have 160-something installed capacity of hydro in Kono. We have about 25 in Moyala. These are our generation facilities, which we develop. Once those are developed, then we can talk about transmission and distribution. Now we have the transmission line from Senegal, Ivory Coast, traversing our country. But at the moment, we are not benefiting because we are not generating anything. Instead, we are buying power from Ivory Coast until that time when we develop our own generation facility. We cannot benefit from that project. So, Mr. Speaker, let me end. I don't want to take all the time. I just wanted to draw attention to this technical lacunae which I have observed. Yeah. And the administration cost, finally, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if you look at, again, Mr. Minister, this is not really, I don't intend to barrack or lampoon the effort you made. No, that is not my intention. But if you look at...
Honorable members, you have not heard anything from Honorable Tabakeli.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, if you look at program administration and control and program administration...
Honorable Danakroma can tell you something.
Mr. Speaker, just the amount that is being spent on administration is so colossal. It's almost one-third of the entire portfolio. What that is, I don't know. And it's not my place to question it. Well, I can question it because I'm here as well, Mr. Minister, maybe that one other area you have to reflect upon. So, all in all, let me thank the government for completing this project. I mean, as I say, as my leader alluded to, it started back in 2012, and a space of, years. And one was congratulate the President for focusing on this project, and as he said from the other side, he made his prime objective to attain, and thanks to him for attaining this. So, Mr. Speaker, this is just a comment I wanted to make. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Tabakeli. Honorable members, at this stage, may I recognize the presence of Honorable Kande Kolegyota. Of course, you all know he is one of us. And Honorable Kande Kolegyota and the Honorable Minister of Finance, please take note of some of the issues that have been raised by members of Parliament. Please take note of them. They are very serious issues. Thank you. Honorable Fala Tembe. We have a long day today, honorable members. So let's say 10 minutes. 10 minutes, is it too much? 5 minutes?
Mr. Speaker, if people did not read the document, they should not deprive others who have done so.
Okay, I will allow the leaders for more than 5 minutes. For all others, 5 minutes. 5 minutes, please.
Mr. Speaker, and honorable members. Mr. Speaker, thank you for allowing me to add my voice to today's debate in this kind of propitious gathering, cluster with political intelligences. Mr. Speaker, and honorable members,
the former speaker will say, did you see that coming? Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, this is the first time for Sierra Leone to bring home this kind of huge amount. And to me, I must say, we have to celebrate President Leone. Mr. Speaker and honorable members, let me lay a quick premise before I get into the debate proper. Mr. Speaker, for a country to bring home this kind of huge amount depicts the fact that it must have been in compliance with good governance issues. There must have been economic freedom. and above all, transparency in public financing system. And if that is a truism, then I will also say there is every day need for us to celebrate President Bill and his team. Mr. Speaker and honorable members, the agreement in question is not contentious. Mr. Speaker, if you go through the agreement, the goals and objectives of the said agreement clearly provide an insight as to what Sierra Leone will look like going forward. Very soon, we're going to see increased coverage in our transmission system. Additionally, we're going to see increased coverage in our distribution system. I am an electrical engineer with 14 years hands-on experience. I want to agree with my colleague, Honorable Member of Parliament. Reading through the document last night, I didn't see anything about generation. And that was a concern to me. When we came, I discussed it briefly with my chairman there. To me, if there is any way as a nation we could sit and recommend for possible amendments for us to factor some amount of some of the money provided to generation to see how we can upgrade it, I think it will be better. That being said, Mr. Speaker and honorable members, this agreement is a fine agreement in the sense that the provisions of the projects that are about to be implemented makes provision for modern systems to be incorporated into our distribution and transmission systems. Transformers will be installed with protection capability, and that is what we want, such that if there is fault in between the line, you will be able to monitor it quickly from a SCADA system that is also embedded in this agreement with a view of preventing the problem before it occurs. So that is, to me, a very good technology that has been incorporated into the system. Mr. Speaker and honorable members, some of the problems that this said agreement will eliminate after implementing successfully the project will be as follows. One, problems that we face today as a nation in terms of voltage sags or dips. That is to say, if you are expecting 220 volts as an end user, you will not get that, but instead you get 190 or 180. Those problems will be eliminated with this compact project. Another problem that will be reduced drastically, especially from our harmonic systems, is that of the problems that we usually face from our transformers and other relay logic systems. The harmonics that we face there will be drastically reduced going through the agreement. I felt good as a Sierra Leone. This is a very good program for us, and I'm talking from a technical standpoint of view. Mr. Speaker and honorable members, the other thing that is key, that I was so impressed, but no wonder people like Dr. Kande Yonkela are around, so I know, yes, the goodies will be there. Predictive maintenance is something that is going to help us a lot based on this agreement. Instead of saying we have to wait until the systems are down, there are downtimes, now predictive maintenance will profile solutions so that you can stop the system for an hour or two, then you amend the problem or do quick maintenance and continue operation. So these are all good programs embedded in this agreement. So Mr. Speaker and honorable members, to me, I see nothing bad about this agreement. Members on the other side will say, yes, there are clauses attached to it for implementation. But the fact is, as honorable members, it is but a truism that we should always think positively as to how we catapult Sierra Leone to a better height.
You don't debate so.
And if we are saying we want to catapult Sierra Leone to a better height, what we do is to ensure that we support this program. And when we support this program, like the other honorable member from Kailan was saying, we put mechanisms in place as to how we as honorable members and other stakeholders provide technical monitoring during O&M, operations and maintenance. If all that is achieved, then I want to assure the nation that the agreement so far in this compact is one that is good for Mama Sierra Leone. Thank you.
Honorable members, just below 5 minutes. Honorable Peter Yamakroma.
I am on a mission to recruit more, including the speaker. It is not one yet. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, this is Mr. Bakuroma. I want to join all the previous speakers who have kindly and thoughtfully showered some praises on the government of the United States for this largesse to our country. We want to thank them very much, and let it be on record as Sierra Leone is pleased. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, what we are doing here today is a condition precedent for the MCC funding. This is couched in the words in section 7.1, article 7, and the compact to be submitted to and approved by the Parliament of Sierra Leone. And this is why I want to thank the Minister of Finance for bringing it here. It is particularly so because I think we've already started hearing that the compact business was already going on. True or not true, but there are those insinuations. And I was on a radio program last week where a member from the Strategic Communications Unit alluded to this fact that government was already far ahead in the implementation of the compact. So bringing it here today is a good one. Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, let me declare from the outset that it will be completely unreasonable for anyone to think that the compact is not good for Sierra Leone. Completely unreasonable. It would also be completely bang out of order for anyone, any person or party to politicize this compact. Because factually, it is not because we are beautiful as a country, it is not because we are very perfect as a country, it is because the people of Sierra Leone are seen to be in their need. It is their sufferings, it is their circumstance that has led us to get this one. So in that case, we must in this house wear the Sierra Leone hat. And it will also mean speaking truth to ourselves. Mr. Speaker, allow me to opine, therefore, that we need to celebrate this compact with caution. Sometimes, or although, in other words, you would say, some kind of mixed feelings. Don't get me wrong. By this I mean, we must be happy, but as well, be very, very unhappy. A bittersweet situation. A bittersweet situation. We should be happy because electricity or energy is essentially the sector that holds the keys to any development of a nation. So for us to have the opportunity to enhance that sector, we should be so very happy. But we should also actually look at ourselves and be a little bit unhappy, because as a country that has so much promise, a country that is endowed, a country that should be looked up to, we are a country that is so vulnerable, so poor, and so dependable on us. We should not be too happy about that. Inwardly, to introspect how we have been carrying on with the business of this country. So, I would liken this to a song made by Bob Marley, where he alluded that in the abundance of water, we are still thirsty. We are still thirsty. I think we deserve to have a rethink quietly in our little corners. So, honorable members, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, with that said, reading the compact, you can actually allow yourself to deduce one thing. And this is, for me, it's accountability, accountability, accountability. Accountability in financial probity. Accountability in political good behavior, I will call it. These are couched in the conditions precedent for the fund. It's clear. And this is where we are told, if you do this, we'll give you our money. If you don't do this, we will not give you our money. So, again, we come back to say we should celebrate with caution. If we don't do the needful, we can start and end up losing. What a shame that would be for our country. So, with the financial side of it, the probity, we should ensure that we demonstrate how far we have come with accountability, how far we have come with tackling corruption, how far we have come with improving our behavior in terms of how we conduct public money. With the political good behavior, it is actually about how far we have walked the talk.
Honorable, one more minute.
Thank you, sir. I will. So, and then upholding, if that includes upholding the democratic tenets that are central to this MCC. So, because of the exigency of time, I want to conclude by encouraging all of us and the government to ensure that we do our due diligence that will involve magnanimity from the part of government, that will involve all of us, if we can also decide to bend backwards to let it happen, because it's very good for our country and our people. I thank you very much.
Honorable Tambajoni.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to lend my voice in this all-important discussion. First of all, I want to thank His Excellency the President, retired Brigadier Julius Madabiu, who has been very much passionate to ensure that before he leaves the seat of power, majority of Sierra Leoneans will be sleeping in elite society. not in darkness anymore. Because if God Almighty that created us could not operate in darkness, who would be an individual that will ever operate in darkness and succeed? You know, this particular event, this particular day, how I wish it could have been in any theoretical setting. It could have prompted a song which would go like this: Today nagla today, nagla today, nagla today, today nagla today, nagla today, nagla today. You know, I want to thank also the people of the United States of America who are deeming fit to put aside this amount so that we will benefit out of it. You know, when other members were lending their voices to the debate, they expressed doubt that we are now talking about distribution lines. What about the generation of electricity? But I also want to allay your fear that President Leone is not only catering for distribution line, but generation as well. Not too far ago, the chairman that was appointed by His Excellency in the person of Dr. Kade Kole was in Vienna. And when they returned, it was broadcast in this country that they have brought a largesse close to the tune of 1 billion. And that particular money is meant for nothing else but the generation of electricity. As we are also discussing, there is also a powerful delegation sent to Nairobi, where they are showcasing Sierra Leone renewable energy potential to the World Summit that is being held in Kenya. So if you are here expressing doubt that where are we going to get this electricity after we have got the distribution line, I want to allay your fears that it is all in the pipeline and they are going to be actualized in the very shortest possible time. Also, Mr. Speaker, let me tell this house why it is good for us to have this opportunity. Let me use Putloko as practical evidence. During the peak of rain, Putloko Bakasoka is generating 2 megawatt electricity. But it will surprise you to know that the vicinity of Putloko, they are only making use of only 50 kilowatts of that 2 megawatts. They have to put some of the turbines off so that it will not get damaged. But if we happen to get this distribution line, I believe Losa will not go without electricity. Titafolunga, where the leader of government opposition is coming from, will not go without electricity. Gambia will not go without electricity. That electricity can be extracted from Putloko and sent to Lunge, and sent to Losa, and also sent to Gambia. After the completion of this particular project, Mr. Speaker. Also, we know that there is also another electricity generation at Makali, but it's not being utilized properly because there are no distribution facility. So when these things are being connected, thank God His Excellency, out of wisdom, for the first time in the history of this country, we are now having 7 district electricity projects being funded by resources generated in this country. So it only remains for us to have the electricity from one point to the other point. And how can that happen if we don't have proper distribution line? Why Kailan should be without electricity when Kenyama have enough electricity from the Ivorian from the CLG light? Why Pujo should go without electricity when the pole is passing very close to Pujanta? But if we have this distribution lines, I believe whosoever have enough will be able to lend or will be able to give to the other community. So that is the reason why, if this particular grant that we have got is one of the best that we have ever got in this country. When Honorable Barry was talking about, lending credence to soldiers who have laid their life for the protection of this country, I told him, yes, we should also lend the same credence to retired Brigadier General Leone.
One more minute.
Because he was one of those who laid their life in the line in order to protect this country. So we want to thank all those who have worked so far, especially the Anti-Corruption Commission, the Human Rights Commission, and every Sierra Leonean who have worked to make sure that we achieve this landmark achievement. Having said that, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Honorable Mohammed Alpha Jallo.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. As usual, I am Honorable Mohammed Alpha Jallo, and I bring you greetings from the beautiful people of Falaba District, the land of milk and honey. No doubt, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, there is no doubt that the people of this country needs the MCC compact. And we in the APC, we are happy that this compact is actualized, even though the cynics may not believe this. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, on that note, I want to thank the people of the United States of America and the MCC, and I also want to thank the government of Sierra Leone, especially the respected Minister of Finance, who championed this project. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, as I skimmed through this document yesterday, I was struggling to understand two very important questions, to answer two questions. And today, I am going to share those questions with this noble house. One of the questions that I was struggling to understand is that why are we rushing the ratification of this agreement? This agreement is only late this morning, and we are expected to ratify it now, giving us only a few hours. We are given the documents yesterday, so we have like 12 hours to look at this document. Is it because we are too excited that we have a $480 million grant? Or is it because we are afraid that the American people may change their mind? Or is it because there are some dubious clauses in this agreement that you don't want us to see?
Honorable Jallo,
Mr. Speaker.
be guided.
I am, Mr. Speaker. The reason why I'm asking these questions, Mr. Speaker.
No, Honorable Jallo, be guided. Please, proceed.
The reason why I'm asking these questions, Mr. Speaker, is because we were given three very important and voluminous and technical documents yesterday, which we are expected to read through overnight and come to this house and debate them. How do you expect us to do justice to these documents? And how do you expect us to be thorough when only these documents were given to us yesterday? For the records, Mr. Speaker, the ratification I mean, and the Child's Rights Bill. These documents, or the bills and the agreements were given to us only yesterday, and for the Child's Rights Bill, which has very controversial issues in it, has 83 pages and 174 long clauses. And this compact that we are currently debating has 98 pages, and then the program implementation has 32 pages. This is a total of 213 long pages, and we were expected to consume all of this material last night, to come here this morning and debate these issues. I don't know whether you think that we are magicians or we are geniuses. On that note, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I want to make a disclaimer to the people of this country, the people who sent us to represent them in this House, that if there is anything in these documents that the people of this country think is not good for them or is not in their best interest, please, Sierra Leoneans, be kind to us, because we may not have seen it. Not to sell out, we sell out, SO2. Because people are quick to say the MPs are not sell out. So not to sell out, we sell out, Mr. Speaker, honorable members. The second thing, or the second issue that I had...
You have 1 more minute.
Mr. Speaker, please permit me to make my points. The second point, or the second issue I had is already part of it was mentioned by the Honorable from Kailao. Why do we have a grant of $480 million and spend every penny of that money on transmission lines and $0 on generation? What are we expected to transmit with these transmission lines if we are not generating enough power? Mr. Speaker, honorable members, let me put this into perspective. It is as if somebody is giving me 500 million oleons and saying that I have to generate power for my household. And instead of spending some of this money on buying solar panels and battery banks, instead I spent it entirely on buying cables, switches, sockets, ACs, televisions, etc. And spent the remainder of that money training my children how to use that electricity when it finally arrives. And hoping that an investor will come and spend about 150 million onions and buy solar panels and battery banks and then sell and generate electricity and then sell that to me for the rest of my life. For me, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, that is not a wise decision. So, it would have been better if we use at least 150 million, which I'm sure would have been enough to generate at least 30 megawatts power of hydro energy.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Mr. Kamara.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, on behalf of the honorable members for district, I want to say thank you to His Excellency the President, Dr. Julius Maada Bio, and the people of the United States of America, whose tax money have been put together to support this MCC form. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I will also want to thank all those that contributed to ensure we meet the conditionalities for this MCC form. But special reference to the women of this country, because gender equality was one of the strong reasons that we are looking up to see how women can be part of the governance of this country. And indeed, our president, who has that passion for the empowerment and promotion of women, ensured and gave the political will to give women the strength to be part of the governance of this country. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, we believe the MCC did not come because we agreed to sign tripartite. It came because we met the conditionalities. The issue of tripartite is just a condition to say this one is standing, it's a condition that if you don't adhere to it, will stop the money. But it's not for the, that did not prompt the coming of that money. To make it clear for our people. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I believe the sector that this money is going to support has to be one of the mitigating tools for climate change, and that is renewable energy. Renewable energy in Sierra Leone has improved drastically over the years because of the commitment and support we are getting from members and other development partners. I'm not standing here to talk to the nitty-gritty of what is in the document, but I want to tell you the benefits the energy sector, if improved, will bring to Sierra Leoneans. When I say Sierra Leoneans, it's not just SLPP or APC, but every Sierra Leonean will benefit from this MCC. So in fact, when you look at the documents, it does not say the responsibilities of President Julius Madabio or APC or SLPP. It said the responsibilities of Sierra Leone government. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, what will the energy sector bring to us? If this money comes and is being implemented accurately, it will support the health sector. That is, women will not die again. Operations will be done with enough electricity. People will go under oxygen with enough electricity. A lot of things will happen in the health sector. It will also help the educational sector. How will it help? Now we are seeing our educational sector is being transformed from just writing on blackboard to technology, using of tablets, using of projector. If there is no electricity, these technologies cannot be used in our schools. So in fact, it will increase the quality of our education in Sierra Leone. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, this will also increase our trade and business sector. It will help bring money into the hands of young people, women in the market, women in the saloon. Go to the saloon and the light goes off. You will not do a beautiful hairstyle to bluff around. But if the saloon has electricity, what will happen? You see more customers in that saloon. I'm taking it to that lowest point because these are the people we are catering for. If that saloon has continuous electricity, what will happen? Customers will go even after 5, 6 o'clock, and that will give money to the person owning the saloon. That's also economic empowerment. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, this will further help the young people, the youth. Go around town, you see young people opening internet cafe, young people opening barbing shops. They are not using our archaic blade and shaving sticks or scissors again. They are using things that are using electricity. And at the end of the day, you know, jobs are not enough. But these young people are empowering themselves in this small internet cafe or even barbing shops or different enterprises that will give them money. So when people are talking about bread and butter lies with you and your effort. And with electricity, I believe the effort of our young people will not go in vain, but it will help to increase their economic capacity. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I want to end with this. The energy sector, when you go to Kono, you know, we normally say, except there is a problem with the line, but in Kono, we hardly see blackouts. That is because of the CLSG. Honorable. Mr. Speaker, it's 12. move that case referred to Mrs. Leone for the defense of the House to continue.
Any seconder?
I so second, Mr. Speaker.
All those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I want to end with this. Sierra Leone, you know, yesterday I was talking to a neighbor.
Honorable, you have 1 more minute.
Yes, a neighbor who is, with all due respect, APC. But that guy in that community, because of our relationship, for any program I have, that is the guy that will first come to me. That shows you that Sierra Leone is for all of us. MCC has not just come for SLPP or APC. It has come for the people of Sierra Leone. We as honorable members, on this note, we have a role to play, and that is our oversight role. We have oversight role to play to ensure that the implementation of this MCC fund, these funds are being used and they are serving the purpose, so that we ourselves, representing our people from different districts, we will know and will be rest assured that yes, it is working. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable. Honorable Dr. Opakroma. 5 minutes, please.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, we want to extend our sincere gratitude to the MCC and the United States of America by extension for facilitating a project to improve economic development for respective nations, especially countries, low-income countries, and low and middle-income countries. As a parliament, we must note that over 200 countries across the world face these examinations. And for Sierra Leone to benefit from these stringent measures or stringent hurdles to get to this point is one we should thank ourselves as a nation to bring to this point. But today we should note that we are not going to be a parliament that is not grateful. And today we should note that we are not going to be a nation that is not grateful. As a country, we graduated steadily to this point. And graduations are made for a purpose. And graduations are celebrated for a purpose. We must not forget that in 2012, when the threshold was met by the previous government of the All People's Congress, that is when the students went to school. That is when the process of graduation started. And as we are here today celebrating, we must note that in that year and in 2015 subsequently, Sierra Leone met 12 out of 20 indicators to be placed in this MCC compact, in which Sierra Leone was given an MCA account, which is a Millennium Challenge account. We must remember that we've come a long way. And when that started, constraints were analyzed, and our constraints were we need to address our water sector and we need to address our energy sector. So year after year, as a nation, we as a people have worked diligently to ensure that we are here today to discuss this bill. We as members of parliament should be grateful that we are here in this well to go through this document, which by the way is very, very instructive and very, very deliberate. We must also recall and remember that we are not the first nation that have benefited from it. So it is a structured program. Yes, indeed, as a parliament, we will have to oversee what government do. But the MCC has structured their program in such a manner that
even when Parliament does not show up, or even when, or if Parliament does not show up, the compact will regulate itself. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I'm saying this because when I went through the document, and as I'm looking, we were given two documents. One was the program implementation of the agreement, and the second document was the Millennium Challenge Compact between, which is a signed agreement. But in the implementation of the document of this compact agreement, Mr. Speaker, we must note that the compact states that the government has to do certain things to meet the requirement. And what I like so much about this document is the fact that in Article 1, the government, the compact states that the disposal of program assets consisting of real property should be done in a manner that is monitored. For far too long in this country, we see vehicles that have been given for a specific purpose are converted to personal properties. And as we note, from the time of entry into the program, which is now, from the date the letter was exchanged between the government of the United States and the government of Sierra Leone, we have entered in force into the program. So of course, as my colleague Honorable from Makeni or Bombali was stating that implementations were underway, we see why they were underway, because the letters have already been exchanged, and that is envisaged in section 7.3 of the second document. The program closure also talks about why it is important that within that 5-year period, all vehicles, all property owned by MCA and by extension the MCC should be branded as such, and that the using of those property should be strictly used for this purpose. We're here today because I'm sure the facilitation funds have to be put into force. Honorable, one more minute. We're here today because the $42 million have to be utilized. But as we're here today, we should recall that several statements have been made by various personalities outside the walls of this country, and in particular, the ambassador of the United States to Sierra Leone. And as he ties this compact to the tripartite implementation, we as a country should ensure that we follow it to the letter. The property of this MCC belongs to the people of Sierra Leone, and we as an opposition will not be controversial or will not be in contention of it. So if it's so, we in the opposition will ensure and should ensure that everything that is said that is not in this document as it pertains to elections and electoral laws should be followed, and we should ensure that we monitor it to know. And an MP was saying, we are not against election reforms. We are not against election reforms, and nobody in this world or in this country should be against election reforms.
Thank you very much, Honorable
Koroma. And thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity, and thank you to the United States government for giving us this opportunity.
Honorable Musa Kopana. Honorable Musa Kopana.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Sir Musa Fofana Pomasu from Kono District. I want to take this special opportunity to thank His Excellency the President of Sierra Leone, the retired brigadier. Mr. Speaker, I must confess to you that the retired brigadier Julius Madabio is a very serious president, and the SLP government is a very serious government. Mr. Speaker, let me just do a calculation for you. We moved from 16% of electricity capacity in this country between 2018 to 2023 of 35%. Do you know why we did not hit a 45% target?
It was because, Mr. Speaker, government was paying huge attention, huge money to install new transformers, battles that have existed for over 200 years without electricity was electrified. They destroyed the transformer. They have destroyed electricity installations in this country in less than 5 years than every other government in the history of this country. I don't know why. Cables all over the country were vandalized. Even in my district, a transformer was vandalized. So very honest. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
No, I agree. It is true, and I just want to hear about the truth.
Yes. Do you want to say anything?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, for the sanity of this debate, we've come a long way, and you've been monitoring and advising. I want my brother to the honorable member from Kono to limit himself to document. Maybe that will avert us from destroying this very fine agreement before us. Because the trend is taken now. We support it effectively to make it very good. Please,
Honorable AKK, yes, I'm going to let me warn you, Honorable Musa Fofana, be guided in your debate. What I'm saying, Honorable AKK, is that I won't sit here and allow anybody to deliberately blame any political party for what was done. But what I'm saying, whatever he's talking about was done. Was actually done. And as a parliament, we should be united in condemning that kind of act. It's only that I will not allow that blame to be attributed to any political party. So it's a matter of fact that particular act was committed by citizens of this country. And I consider that extremely terrible. Yes. Extremely terrible. So please, Honorable Fofana, I will only want you to be guided in your debate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes,
Mr. Speaker, I'm a senior MP for that matter.
Hold on.
Mr. Speaker, you were here seated the other day when the leader of the opposition raised an alarm on those that vandalized the ex-airport administration and all of the furniture. The leader of government business supported him and even put forward for an investigative committee to be set up. He did not call, the member from Koron did not call any name except he was going to attribute those hooligans and vagabonds to political party. But he did not. He was so professional that he did not call political party. Neither even of the person, but people. So the honorable member from Kambia, I pray for the honorable member.
Honorable AKK, please. No, what are the questions? Please, I don't want any member of parliament to be put in the limelight for this, because we are leaders and we cannot in any way tolerate that kind of act. So let's not put ourselves in any limelight. Let's call things by their name. That particular act was committed by citizens of this country, and it was wrong.
What maybe they have not understood, including the deputy leader himself, is the Honorable Musa was very, very much, the Honorable member from Kono was very much specific. He said within the 5 years. And this destruction you're talking about are called they are calling almost every other day.
Yeah, sure.
So when you attribute that to just a 5 year under a regime, under a period, that is disingenuous and is imputing negative impact. And that's what I am saying. I am more than capable to do what he's doing, and I am more a professional and more senior than he is claiming. But if that's where you want to go, that's not happening.
Honorable members, order. I will stand this house down if you continue. Honorable Musa Fofana, proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I just want to say my government and the government of this country should have succeeded in achieving the 45% target of energy if those destructions were not being done on installations. Mr. Speaker, for almost 58 years, we are struggling with 16% energy. Mr. Speaker, within 5 years, we achieved 19% added to that. We were hoping to go up to 29%. Well, Mr. Speaker, with the MCC, you can be assured that I attended an engagement with the Right Honorable Leone, a serious professional, a former member of this House. He was more focused on the local strategy. He talked about the big Congo Falls in Koro and Kenema. He talked about the Dodo rehabilitation and the Betman project and the Bumbuna too. These are our own, and we pray for this government to succeed in installing some of these developments. Mr. Speaker, if you go to the 7-town electrification project, electrification is not cheap, Mr. Speaker. It's very, very expensive. For 5 years, this government has been struggling to install Pujan, Cambia. If you go to Cambia now, the installation is going on, Mr. Speaker. You know, my father is coming from Cambia. I always visit Cambia every 2 months. The installation is going on. The installation is going on in Cambia. Mr. Speaker, let me go to the MCC to tell you that this government is a serious government. Mr. Speaker, Annex 1.4 of this document I read, Roman figure 3. He said the Bumbuna Free Town Line upgrade activities. To tell you that this government is a democratic government, it's a government that believes in national unity. This government is saying, I read it with your leave, Mr. Speaker, the Bumbuna Free Town upgrade activity aims to provide centralized and more reliable grid access to the major towns and economic centers in the north of Sierra Leone. This activity shall include the installation of the 161/33/11K substation at Makeni and Lusar, both to locate along the Bumbuna Freetown 161 kV transmission line, as well as center of economic activities. Mr. Speaker, to end, it says the substation noted above under this transmission, the back center activity. The program shall also find the installation of a fiber optic upgrade for the 161 kV transmission line, which shall necessitate retirement of the existing shield wire power supply to Makeni that shall supply from the new Makeni 161 kV substation. Why I decided to put this, Mr. Speaker? All of us have read this document. But Mr. Speaker, even the West Africa power pool that came from Ivory Coast, it was taken to Kenema, Bo, Kono, and then to Bumbuna. Freetown benefited from the Bumbuna. This is to tell you that we are not only democratic because we are SLPP, but because we are Sierra Leone People's Party. And we believe that this document and the MCC is going to succeed for the people of this country. Mr. Speaker, you can be assured that if it was not for destruction of fire because of the heavy fire on the 161 or the 225 transmission line in Kono, we cannot have blackout in Kono. We can have constant 24-hour night. So we just want to tell the Right Honorable Leone that please don't forget to bring quality transformers for these transmission lines. Kono, we always have fire because the substandard material sometimes that have lasted for over 20 or 25 years is still affecting this country. So let's change once and for all. On that note, Mr. Speaker.
The transformers we have, even today, are of the best quality. What we should be doing as a nation is pleading with our brothers and sisters not to destroy it. That's what we should be doing as a nation. Pleading with them that some of these matters are not political matters. Some of these matters are not matters of anger. We should all come together to ensure that these little facilities are maintained. They have the best quality. I've seen some of them. They have the best quality. Well, you know, we have these hooligans around. They just go around destroying these transformers. They don't want others to benefit. And some create the impression that they are doing that because they want to sell the cables. How can you destroy a whole transformer? What millions and millions of news for the cable? It's quite interesting. Yes, proceed. Try to conclude now. You have 1 minute.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I must conclude by saying we will support the MCC document, and I go with colleagues who talked about the oversight, responsibility from Parliament. We must appreciate the Energy Committee. They have been doing very well. But to be very honest, let's behave as citizens, not nationalists. Because citizenship is a responsibility for the country. To be very honest, Mr. Speaker, I must end to say thank you to His Excellency the President. Thank you to the Honorable Vice President who led this team. Thank you to the First Lady and the rest of the ministers who did their best in 5 years between 2018 and 2023. They have kept the graph of the MCC right up. Thank you, Mr. Minister, for a job well done. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Let me at this stage make this very clear to the people of Sierra Leone. The 6th Parliament is a far cry from the 5th Parliament. The 6th Parliament is extremely responsible when it comes to supporting the development agenda of the current government. And I want to take this opportunity to thank members of the opposition party, particularly the leadership, and of course members of the Sierra Leone People's Party. We have been united when it comes to development matters. There is no way I am going to sit here to criticize any member of Parliament for undermining the development of Sierra Leone. I am so proud of this house. That's all the more reason why when some of these issues come up, I intervene so that we don't put ourselves in the limelight. To create the impression as if, some of these hooligans, are our friends. They cannot be our friends because we are all leaders. And we have been voted to come here to represent our people so that at least we have sympathy for the nation. Thank you very much, honorable members, for your support always to ensure that we do what is best for this nation. Honorable Ekeke.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, today is a unique day for our country, and realities are catching up with us. Mr. Speaker, I have listened to colleagues across the aisle, whether from our side or the other side, complaining that the most important thing this MCC is going to address is the issue of transmission and distribution. Most times, as a nation, what you cry out is what you is where you get aid for. I remember when this well from 2020 to 2023 going down constantly, and if you listen to the other member from Kono, it was giving figures of how much we've generated, how much our generation has grown. So when people say it's all about distribution, transmission, it's because we created an impression of a country where we have enough electricity. That was the phrase, enough electricity. So if you have enough electricity, what was the problem was a distribution. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, not too far ago, I talked about us as a nation neglecting the Bubuna Phase 2 is an outcry we must take seriously as members of Parliament. The Bubuna Phase 2 implemented will address most of the issues that I have to talk about generation of power. Now we have a situation in which SO2, now the panel of the Kawaso, let's not in at the port. We are going to have all the connection, distribution lines set up with this MCC. But sadly enough, have we generated enough power to be distributed? So meaning, yet still, we are going to do address one aspect, and we have another aspect left to be addressed. The inadequacies still continue as a nation. So my first appeal is, as a nation, let's look out for more avenues to generate power, more avenues to generate the much needed energy for our people. Whatever it is, I am sure in terms of cost, in terms of whatever it is, the Lumina Phase 2 is of lesser cost than any makeshift arrangement, including the car power ship. If we go back and address it, it will help us as a nation. No nation thrives with transmission. No nation thrives with distribution. You encourage and boost the energy sector when you can generate before you distribute. But today we are going to have distribution lines, but yet no means for generation. I have seen other projects. Whilst the debate was going on, Mr. Speaker, I went out and I was looking at presidential address after presidential address. This issue of transmission, distribution have been addressed. We've had funding from different organizations, all to address distribution and transmission. Yet still the problem remains the same. I'll tell you, I agree with my brother when he says people are cutting away, they're destroying the infrastructure of the electricity sector. This has been a problem in our country. And that is where when the situation of creating these makeshift buildings built around our substations with bricks and having security, it's a one way to go. But how do we improve some of those facilities, some of those securities for these much needed transmitters? Mr. Speaker, as we speak, we still have much to do in getting energy in our country. People may not know the importance of energy to the economy of our country. No country attracts serious investors when you don't have enough power supply. No country attracts investors if you don't have at least basic energy sector reforms. And from 2018, we've been reforming the energy sector. Every document you read, you see the reforms of the energy sector. But the question is how reflective it is in our lives. For some of us who live in the East, it is worse off. So we're saying we need to do better. We need to do better in the energy sector. My brother has left. He tried to talk about this, associating this document to that of the agreement of national unity and the tripartite. When you're giving some of these facilities and you're giving conditionality, one thing I don't want my country to miss out is the conditionality of this. It is difficult to reach this level, but it is disgraceful as a nation to step out of it. So as a country, what can we do to solidify our gains in the MCC? It is all about one thing. Whatever you read here, the bottom line is cohesion. How we work together as a nation. Cohesion, how we tolerate one another. Cohesion, how we ensure we don't misuse the police over a set of people against the others. You know, in my almost 10 years in this world, I know people who are specialized in this, and I know their voices. For the record, I will not call him his name, but he's from Bo. He's specialized in that. You know, this is what we talk about, building our democracy. It's a shame we are being pegged on the MCC for our own democratic credentials. As some of us have said this over and again, that until we build our democratic credentials, we cannot attract the world's investment. This is not novelty. We've said this over and over again. What's up? As a nation, we find ourselves today in which we are being twisted
to implement what we have done ourselves. Condition upon condition, condition upon condition for us to work together. But the Bible says, and to work together, it says, unless they agree. I pray, as we implement, you did not go to a serious Bible school. You did not go to a serious Bible school. You know, the Honorable Fombo, please. Okay. So as we say, Mr. Speaker, whatever it is, even in the agreement of national unity, the basic things we are able to do as a government, we have still not done. Mr. Speaker, you know how much we have engaged you, even on the things that affect us. What about the illicit prisoners? At least we've counted those that are in custody. Is it difficult to release them now that we have identified them? These are basic things we need to do without even having somebody to force us to do them. Again, we still say this. No matter what you do, if even in parliament we cannot understand ourselves, people think when you say certain things that are of national interest, it is political. It shows the level at which we understand things. I am specialist in both. I can debate and respond. Mr. Speaker, let me end. You know, it's difficult sometimes when you're a young politician and you flip-flop from political party. When you do that, you are like forced to always satisfy your master. I listen to him, he was presenting facts. But for all the people who were trying to impress the SLPP, I wish them well in the SLPP.
Thank you very much, Honorable. Honorable Joseph Williams Laming.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, honorable members of Parliament. I have carefully listened to colleagues who have added their voices to this very important document. I listened to the young member of Parliament from Falaba who said that why are we so eager to handle this document? Sierra Leoneans are no longer Sierra Leoneans. We are all behaving now like Nigerians. When there is a treasure over there to be achieved, nobody will wait. You have to do everything humanly possible to reach out to that treasure to have it. When I was a small boy in my village, when I sold my kola nuts, I never waited for you to pay me my money. I have to run after you. Money in somebody's pockets is not your money. It is only when it is received by you, it becomes your money. And when I listen to my opposition whip, he's talking about SO2 was pan. It is only when you wash your pan before you can dish a dish. And if you don't wash the pan, how do you dish? You see that? When we come to the city, you cannot dish any good dish if you don't wash those pans and put it on the platform to dry. Honorable members of Parliament, this document we have been long awaited. The document on the 27th of September 2024, when I saw my brother, Sheku Ahmed Fantamadi Bangura and Madam Alice P. Albright appending their signature to this document, I felt like I am right there with them. And I felt that spirit in me that we are here earning 50% of our 2024 annual budget, about 50%. Our budget 2024 was less than $1 billion. And here, if we put this figure together, we are talking about 50% of our annual budget. of the Republic of Sierra Leone. So for us to have a money like that we have worked for it, from His Excellency the President, Julius Maada Bio, to all his ministry, and to our land colleague, I worked with him when we did the certificate audit, and I know he's a dedicated man. Honorable Kanda Yukela. I knew that when he got to that part of our presentation, your applications to these things is a job well done. We want to applaud you for where we are 60% to 36%, and where we intend to go is something that we have to be proud of as Iranians. If we talk about in 2014, we achieved $44 million, and today we are talking about $480 million, which is 10.9 times the strength. It's something we have achieved. This achievement should go to all Iranians. We should be proud of this. When I have the logo on my jacket, the green, white, blue, and that of the United States flag on me, I'm not just wearing it for fancy purposes, but for the past 25 years, I have represented scrupulously Sierra Leone to the very minimal activities I have undertaken in Sierra Leone. So it is not justice. For you to get even $10 from the United States of America, you must be somebody that they look up to, and that you have fulfilled all criteria that meet their demands. So it is nothing like that. If you go back to the 80s, when projects were implemented in Sierra Leone, apply for projects, those days of Go projects, you think about 1/7% of that project has to be funded by the local. And if we are taking that, Sierra Leone would have added $68.71 million have been done to this. But it's just, according to my advisor, the money that he highlighted to us is not very minimal. And I believe that it's not something to worry about, but we have done a very good job. And for us to be very proud of ourselves in what we have achieved, I want to draw the attention to this house to lead of the program implementation agreement. We need to believe in ourselves. We need to trust in ourselves. The Millennium Challenge account and clause 3.4 program figure 1, all applicable conditions precedent to Annex 2 have been duly satisfied and differ and waived and provided in this agreement. If we go to 2, no material default or breach of any covenant or the obligations, responsibility of Sierra Leone, MCA, Sierra Leone, or any other Sierra Leonean government entity as OCOP, and containing all of these compacts. This agreement and the supplementary agreement. And to conclude that, I want to go to Roman figure 6. All Sierra Leonean government entities involved in this implementation of this program, including the implementing entity, are coordinating successfully with NCA Sierra Leone and dedicating all necessary staff and resources to ensure successful implementation of this program. I felt good. I felt proud to be a Sierra Leonean, and all of us should be proud to be Sierra Leonean members. I want to speak and ratify this agreement. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
this side, we are all aware that right from British government to the 5th Parliament, we on this side has always been our house. In this house, during budget debates, during presidential debates, about some of the issues that needs to be addressed as a government, for us not to miss out in our achievement to attain MCC compact, which you've got now. It has started long ago, and it was our desire that there should be no turning back. To progressive onto this stage, and there is still more to be done. On that note, I want to thank the Minister of Finance. Thank you very much, sir, for a job well done. I want to thank the government of Sierra Leone, of which you are all part of that. I want to congratulate ourselves as opposition for these remarkable achievements. Only a sane person will kick against such blessing to this country. Only a sane person. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I also want to thank the U.S. government. Because in my opinion, I will come to that, of course, the U.S. government is a little bit different. A little bit. Based on Western policies towards Africa, of which U.S. government is not an exception, but by some extent, they're a little bit different. So I want to thank them for that. And I have two questions. Two questions to be answered. If it can be answered by Mr. Minister, fine. If it cannot, then let's think about it, about both questions. Number one, I know this is a fine package. It's a fine package, and every country wants it. And now they're almost there. So my first question is there room for another MCC after this? Is there room for another MCC after this? Does there no benefit from one MCC to another MCC to another MCC? Because as a government in the making, it's my desire also that even when we are in charge, the people of Sierra Leone need another MCC. MCC is not for a particular government, it's for the people of Sierra Leone. And the benefits goes to all of us. So I want to know, Mr. Speaker, I want to know through you, from Mr. Minister, if there are greater packages for MCC. We want to work towards that. That is one. And secondly, what is the criteria? What is the criteria to win MCC? Because if you ask me, this is my personal opinion, you ask me, and this one, Sierra Leoneans are listening in and out of this country, listen to me, that this is that fight against corruption is one of the criteria. If you ask me, you can't convince me. If you ask me, you cannot convince me that respect for rule of law is one of the criteria. You can't convince me. That was my perception. But now I know there must be something different. For which I thank the president. He knows the secrets. He knows something different. That's why he went all out to go for that unknown. Thank you, Mr. President, for knowing the unknown.
Because you ask me, the respect of human rights is one of the criteria. You cannot convince me. And for information, I'm over 50. And for the remaining 50 years, I will have in this world. That's 50 years, the remaining 50 years of my life. It's too short to convince me. So if you cannot convince me now, you have to follow me to the other one to convince me. There is respect for rule of law, respect for human rights. As for the criteria to get the MCC, I don't think so. It's my opinion. But thankfully, my president knows what to be done to get MCC, and he has done it. For which I thank him. And if he asks me personally, I will say, Leone, Africa, we are losing a lot. We are losing. In my opinion, Mr. Speaker, God has, we have God given MCC. All that has money amount. We have God given MCC. In this country, all that has money amount. So just by this singular MCC, let me say 1 out of 100 of what it is. We have just dancing and shouting and celebrating. When we are supposed to celebrate far more than this. But where is the problem? Our problem is us. Our problem is us. In the 5th Parliament, Mr. Speaker, I listen to the last minister. Yesterday, the last minister. When he tabled the 2 days in Parliament, we are all at time. The Commission bill and the Customary Land Rights Bill. In his presentation here, I was so moved that our land resources alone, by utilizing it just for oil palm, not all the sectors of agriculture, just oil palm. After giving his statistical analysis in the next 5 years, oil palm alone can take care of wage bill in this country. In 5 years, I'm on record. He's on record. Go to the answers. In less than 5 years, oil palm alone can take care of our wage bill. That excludes all the sectors in agriculture, potentials in agriculture. That excludes our mineral resources. That excludes our gas, our oil and gas. That excludes our human resources. Which all bundled together, I can refer to it as God-given MCC. But you know what has happened? This is my principal reason why I'm thanking the US government. You know why? Let's say, for instance, the West, Africa, so to be specific, we have 50 of this particular package, 50 more. Out of that 50, the West take 49 and give us 1, and then we celebrate. But you know why I thank them for at least remembering us to give us 1? Because for others they give us nothing. That is 1. Secondly, this singular one can benefit us more than all 50 left to us to manage for ourselves. This singular one can benefit us more than 50 times of this if left to us only to be managed. Because if you check plus 2, the entire plus 2, and the condition president is zero corruption, it cannot be corrupted. And this money is not going to President Bio's pockets. In fact, he will not even see it. It is administered by 3 bodies. The MCC Sierra Leone, MCC, and Sierra Leone government. And they all have their roles to play. Zero corruption. I can tell you for free, 50 times of this MCC left to us as Sierra Leoneans to be managed by ourselves. It will give us worse than even now. And that is our problem. That is our problem. The solution is you. Yes. Until you are ready, the West will continue to exploit us and give us half. All of us. And now, because of their monitoring capacity, their monitoring mechanisms, just imagine, just 1 out of 100 given to us will now benefit us more than the 100 God has given us in the past. but we cannot manage it. The best we can do is to buy mansion, invest in the West, invest in Europe, invest in America. In fact, that is the full part of African leaders. They invest in the West. They invest in their banks. When they are there, those bank accounts are frozen. The banks refuse to remit those monies back to their countries. That's big fool. And until we be back from that, it will not work. We will continue to just stop with this Harvard Bobu attack. That's all true. As my MP said from Kailao, say we are in water and we are crying for thirst. We are crying of thirst. So in thanking this government, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, at least we should all join hands to make sure this little give it to us. 1 out of 50 given to us, the 49 board. If 1 out of 49, we have the answer. Otherwise, if we are satisfied with how we are now, we continue to be corrupt. And then they will take 49. We manage 1 by US government. The rest, they give us nothing. So, as far as I'm concerned, these are some of the things. And both of us, we are on the same page on this. Now, you will understand me. Some people thought it was out of bad faith, it was insubordination, or this and that. When I said that I know of no law, that says agreement brought before Parliament cannot be amended. They should be rejected and annulled. Who told you that? Can we annul this? Can a CNMP annul MCC agreement? Can we? Does it make sense? On the contrary, if there's something there that I consider as an insult, can't we amend this? Can't we amend it? Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I refer you to clause 5.4. Clause 5.4 of the implementation agreement. Clause 5.4. You know what clause 5.4 says? Clause 5.4 is saying this implementation agreement and even the contract can be amended. But once it is amended, that amended version should not come to Parliament. It remains as it is. Do you expect MPs to accept that the document I identified, you can amend and change it, and then you don't need to come to me after changing it? Then why do you ratify? Why do you ratify? To me, that's an insult. Why do we ratify? Meaning you have a hidden agenda. You are just coming here for formality. And after the formality is over, you go into your secret corner and change everything. And then you put it there saying you agree that once I change it, I cannot come back to you. Is that acceptable, Mr. Speaker? But is that enough for us to annul and return it? Is it prudent? Better still, can't we say no? You must come here. And then we proceed. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, for interest on our package, we are supposed to open both foreign accounts and Leone's accounts. And once those accounts are open, MCC funds are being remitted there. Those funds are bound to accrue interest. You know what 3C, paragraph 3, section 3, paragraph C, paragraph 3, page 15 says, the interest accrued by those monies belong to MCC, not MCC Silo or Silo government. They belong to the original source. And the interest is born out of the seed money. And the seed money, by virtue of our performance, and we know the hidden secrets of which we have explored through His Excellency the President, the money practically belongs to us now. As far as I'm concerned, this money now belongs to us. Provided we continue as we are going now, it belongs to us. So to me, whatever interest is accrued should belong to us also. But why the interest should go away? Why the interest should go away? To back to the source. To me, that's unacceptable. It is unacceptable. Page 18. Page 18. Clause 4. Section 4. Subsection 2. Paragraph E. Subsection 2. Paragraph E. It says at the end of the implementation, after everything finished, the assets of the MCC belongs to MCC, not us. It belongs to MCC. Let's say, for instance, if out of convenience, say, well, let us build office, administrative office, in this place, or in so place, or in so place, and then everything is finished, implementation, everything, agreement, everything done, well done, you've done well. End of story. That asset now. Who should own that asset? MCC again? Rather than us? If it is owned by MCC, you know why it says, if you want to get it, except to buy it. Except to buy it. Except to buy it. Otherwise, it says as their property is what they call it reversionary interest. You know what that is? After the original interest, ownership thereafter goes back to MCC. Why not stay with us? And the cost of that particular asset was born out of this MCC funding and the contribution from government. But mind you, these 400 and something million, government will have to contribute also to continue our eligibility. So, for instance, those assets are built by specifically the government funding, but which is part of the package as MCC, broad package. But it belongs now to MCC, not MCC scenario, not scenario government, but there are two components. So, in my opinion, that is not correct. That is not correct. So, Mr. Mr. Speaker, on that note, there is one more for Mr. Minister. There is one more here. And this is for you. Because I don't want you to fail. If you don't comply, you will fail. And when you fail, the Leoneans has failed. So please don't fail. Please go to paragraph section 2. Section 2, subsection 3, paragraph B, page 8. Page 8. Page 8. Now, let's say this MCC now. What is topical now is energy. Energy. And there are various sectors under energy. Distribution, EDSA, Ministry of Energy, and the likes. Kumuna Hydro, they all have their various administration. And usually those MDAs used to get allocation from you. Okay? But this section is now saying, based on this MCC money, it may influence you to say, well, now, we thank God, there's MCC now for EDSA. There's money now for Ministry of Energy. I mean, there's MCC now. And it's purely for Ministry of Energy. So on that note, if I used to give 10 million to Ministry of Energy, I will not cut it down to 4 million. You understand, Mr. Minister? It is said you must inform them in writing and get their approval in writing. I don't know your present allocation. I know you have your lines now, you have your figures now already. Based on the calendar year, I mean the financial year of government. At this time, because you are a very hardworking minister, very proactive. I know you've done your homework already. In fact, I believe you must have your finance act complete. I know you. Very proactive. So, my question now is, if that is so, then how that will match with this provision? Will it not cause you to fail? And by failing, MCC will not proceed. You must inform them in writing, and you must get their written approval. And now you already have your finance act. You already have your allocations. You've either been all MBAs already. So how can we reconcile that? So thank you very much. And I urge all our colleagues to support this one. It's not for President Dio, it's not for the government, it's for all of us. All of us will benefit. Thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I rise on the Constitution of Sierra Leone, Section 40 to be specific, subsection 4 and D. With your leave, Mr. Speaker, notwithstanding any provision of this Constitution or any other law, to the contrary, the President shall without prejudice to any such law as may, for the time being, be adopted by Parliament, responsible in addition to the functions conferred upon him in the Constitution form. Take these, very importantly, the execution of treaties, agreements, or conventions in the name of Sierra Leone. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the President, ably supported by the minister in the U.S., they have done their assignment. It is now left with us, Parliament, to ratify this document. And we will do justice. We will do justice for the ratification of this document. For the one reason, it is not a controversial document. And because it is not a controversial document, I urge members from both sides, left, right, to speedily approve of this particular document. Mr. Speaker, this document is my baby. It is important to know that for us to pass MCC exam, the US government only has government MPs. Maybe they were engaged government ministers, but it was exclusively opposition MPs. It was like 3 hours, myself, Dr. Yunkela, and the main opposition leader by then. We sat in the main hall of the US Embassy. 3 hours examination justifying why Sierra Leone, by then, the government flagship was education. And because there was sufficient money for education, why Sierra Leone should actually adopt energy. Mr. Speaker, I took advantage as the chairman then and chairman now for Mines and Mineral Resources. I actually expounded on the potential of the mineral sector, how it will benefit Peru Limited, the potential Peru Limited have to subscribe to energy, how it will benefit Manampa Mines, how it will benefit Sarah Utai, how it will benefit Kimun Europe. And the examiners, they say, what? You sure you have all these facilities? Oh yes, justification. Dr. Kanemka was there, the energy experts, and also supported my claims. Mr. Speaker, today, Abeli is seeing the light of day through ratification. We commend His Excellency, retired Brigadier General Abeli. I think he deserves a round of applause. Why should we commend him? Before 2018, Sierra Leone was like 49% MCC scorecard. We failed. As it turns out, it promised one of the main criteria, the very first criterion, good governance. In the federal sector, I'll tell you, the very first criterion, good governance. He did promise the world that yes, the draconic criminal libel law, he repealed. Before this house, in the 5th Parliament, I participated. It was repealed. Mr. Speaker, His Excellency the President, he told the world that the abolition of the death penalty, he repealed. Before this house, it was repealed. If somebody kills now, you cannot be killed. Rather, you get some sense at the correctional center. even for 250 years. Mr. Speaker, just as the president, in the other campaign, in his manifesto, he brought it to cabinet, approved, and it came out for ratification. That the duly asked women, myself and the right honorable distinguished Senator Amikago, who now affirm that it's only Senegal in the ECOWAS. It is only Senegal that can beat us as far as gender or female representation is concerned. In the parliament today, he said that the president did promise that the duly act must and should be ratified. Those are the criteria, those are the prerequisites for the records. Those are some of the prerequisites. And indeed, today, we can count at least 30% plus 4 in Sierra Leone Parliament are women. And I'm convinced, I have the strongest conviction that when women, whether at executive or in the legislative realm and in governance, corruption is minimized. I mean, before she. Mr. Speaker, it's actually the president did promise us that in fight corruption, in fight corruption, the money the ACC had accrued to that young man is so huge. And we can do many developments with that. I'm telling you, had it not been that he had a democratic credential, I'm talking of His Excellency President Madabio, he would not have held that seat as a non-permanent seat in the UN. Because of his rich democratic credential, Bakuto said, in combat, he led the nation. In civil affairs, he's leading the nation. Because of those rich democratic credentials today, Sierra Leone can have back a non-permanent seat in the UN. Congratulations, Sierra Leone, and congratulations to all of us. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, it is important that everyone, like small country, the Gambia, admire their opposition. The opposition leader of Gambia is the ECOWAS Parliament. The zest, the passion, and the zeal he moved for the ratification of the MCC compact. So admirable. And today, the opposition, I should commend you. Tightly, I should commend you for the efforts and the commendation that you have actually tendered for the utilization feature of this particular money, MCC money. White man money, we will enjoy it, SO2, in Jesus' name. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, we cannot actually see Operation Feed Sierra Leone, see the light of day. I'm authoritatively talking of inland valley swamp, animal husbandry, agricultural extension, crop protection, Operation Feed Sierra Leone, these are the components. If you ever see the light of day, if there is no energy, in the US, somebody can cook a sauce for a whole week. It's just a matter of microwaving it and spend less as far as feeding is concerned. That is the enjoyment we want to also enjoy. Mr. Speaker, you hardly see somebody even jump to the streets and actually exercise mien of violence. If the person has freezer there, watching television with a cold cooler, relaxing. A politician, I'm talking of wicked politicians, violent or youth, jump to the streets and demonstrate. They want to do it because they have energy. Why should I live my European premiership? Why should I live watching my rich Nigerian movie jumping in the street for violence? So you see, as we also curtail violence, the MCC compact is in line with Sierra Leone midterm development plan, Vision 2030. It's essentially the president between 2018 and 19 in the 60% of our energy sector. Today we can count probably 36%. Can you imagine? 36%. I'm going to imagine in 3 years' time, by the time we would have implemented it full, how would have gone for other development rather than talking of this energy. Mr. Speaker, we should commend His Excellency. And you know what? This compact also holds our feet to the water. If you look at clause 5.1, very importantly, in terms of termination, how would I want it to be terminated in 30 days' time? Therefore, I work hard for it not to be terminated. Clause 5, 4.44, in terms of late payment, how would I wait until late payment comes in? I work hard to fight that. Look at also the implementation documents. The product implementation plan. It also pushes us for transparency and accountability in terms of audit trail. Because I have auditor hanging around me. I work hard not to fall foul with alphabet F in the documents. not to fall foul with alphabet C in the document. It talks of M and E. We only need to put responsible people, performance stickers. And it is on this note I want to urge Mr. Speaker that in the second session of this sixth parliament, those that will be in the Committee of Energy should have a very good attendance record, should be effective, should be efficient, and should have an open eyes to develop a strong M&E bullet point to monitor the energy sector, because we want to fail. Section 93, subsection 3 and subsection 6 give Parliament the power to play this oversight. And interestingly, in section 107, subsection 2, give members of Parliament the power to call the minister, hey minister, come. But the minister doesn't have the power to command MP to come. We have the power. Minister, come. As far as we are concerned, it is very in a snail pace. We have just to fail. We cannot fail. Give us explanation. I'm calling you, asking you critical questions. Give us the answer. And that's the power Parliament has. You have to open my wide to put in stronger MPs in the energy sector in this second session of the sixth parliament. Very, very importantly, my learned colleague is not there, AKK. Therefore, I cannot comment on the statement that he did say on the Bumbura. I will not. I wanted to at least because he's not there. But it should have been a fine story for the Italians' recommendation. For the records, 1969 to 1972, the naturalness of big Congo between the Kono and Kenba district was so rich. Only one that is SI Koma, that was the main